The Soska sisters / Twisted Twin Productions have had this awesome idea of pursuing licensing for the Addams Family.
Yep, which would be awesome.
Yes, totally. And I believe you had mentioned, actually, did you post it?
No.
That she looked like Morticia?
Possibly. But she looks like Morticia.
Yeah.
When I first saw you two sisters on TV, on Dead Hooker and a Trunk Trailer, I think it was, or the Blood Drive one. I think it might have been the Blood Drive.
It was
one.
the Blood Drive.
I saw them and I was like, that looks like Morticia. They look like Morticia Addams. That's almost freaky. It's like a striking resemblance to the movie version of Morticia Addams, not the original show.
Which brings us to the reason why we have less hair.
Yes.
In most of the pictures on Facebook and that kind of thing, we have hair.
And beard.
Yeah, beards. My beard comes and goes.
I hate not having a beard.
As encouragement to all the fans out there, we figured what we do is we shave our heads.
Yeah,
to get the fester thing going, and it's just kind of creepy how we have that fester. Oh no. Yeah, so, standing in the morning every morning for an hour trying to imitate Fester.
Which is like, I don't know,
He's not easy to do.
This is all you do, it's like this. Gomez!
But
That's all I have to say. Gomez!
But there's like three variations of
Oh, yeah, there's also the
one
cartoon
from the
one.
series, the one from the new series, and the one from the... I haven't seen any of the cartoon, though.
It's more like a... kind of thing, if I remember correctly. I like the Gomez! Look at you! And your loving children! A cesspool! I'm in the way! I don't know. I don't know. Something like that. So anyways, what's the point of this video? Because we actually don't think we got to the point really yet, or established it yet.
It's just a general encouragement for people to
sign the petition, because we want Twisted Twin Productions to make the Addams Family movie badly. That would be so awesome. And just so you know, there could be a plot point where you have Morticia has a long lost sister. That would be so awesome. So remember that.
I ran out of words. I read the dictionary all the time, and I usually have words, but I don't.
Yes.
Except to, gush on how awesome Soskas are.
Yes, sure. And we are, too. We're awesome. That would be so awesome.
I know that, but I can't say that because...
I can.
It's like, well, I know you're awesome, but...
Oh. That would be so awesome. Okay, anyways.
$50.
No, I was going to give you money.
Oh,
fake money, because I'm broke.
Yeah, you're going to...
Yeah.
I thought you were going for the buddy powder. Lock it down!
Okay, let's go. Anyways, sign the petition for the... get back in set. Sign the petition for the Addams Family Twisted Twin Production. For Paramount to give them the rights, because if they knew any better,
If they knew any better,
they would do it, right? Paramount.
If they only knew.
If they only knew that the fan base is there for independent film in Canada to do Addams Family, they would sign it. They would say, "Okay, Twisted Twin Productions, here's your contract." Blah blah blah.
And maybe some of the fans could donate money to the cause. That'd be awesome. And grab a megaphone, run onto the street, and go like that.
That would be so awesome. Oh, I should also might also put a shameless plug for us. Oh. Please join us at our YouTube channel. That would be so awesome. Yeah. And there's various other sites too for YouTube. Ross and Kubler. And Wolf Pyros TV is where I keep my personal vlogs. And my name, Jason Day-Boisvert, for my director's vlogs, because I'm a vlogging director. So join all those sites. Please. Please. Because we just started this year filming. And we need help.
Well, you need help. I just write books.
I don't know what that sound was I just made.
It was high pitched.
I'm French. You have to forgive me. Okay, well anyways, this is Jason Day-Boisvert and
AJ Clausen.
signing out. Goodness! What I would really like to be is Gomez, but I obviously don't have the physique for that.
Yeah.
Because he's my favorite.
I don't know if any CSA is gonna take you without your certificate of I'm awesomeness from Vancouver.
I have no idea what you just said, but that's okay.
With the hand things!
Look at me! Screw scripts.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, working with the Soska sisters, or is it,
Twisted Fin Productions?
yes, brain's not working.
Okay, we're rolling. I don't know what we're doing.
Okay.
Alright. Anyways. Get way off course.
They're like, oh,
Finish your
die.
sentence. Look at me! I'm Dylan!
Stop poking me, Jen!
Stop poking me, Jen!
I can't type anymore. Jen's poking me. Okay.
We're talking about Jen and Sylvia's, Soska's, Anna's family petition, and I'm a little bit dyslexic. Dyslexic.
I can't work with this guy.
One take J, that's what they call me, so I'm rolling.
Bloopers reels like an hour long.
Yeah.
There's like 2 minutes of video.
There's an idea, but I can't even talk with it.
The open source zombie project. Through participation in this project, we'll be able to make a larger film composed of the entire community. Theoretically, we could have thousands of people involved in a project and release something that we'd all be proud of. People in the community can film short 2 to 5 minute segments, which could be anything from makeup tips or how to mix certain types of blood without sugar, because that's important. They could take shots from their zombie walks, or they could get their friends together and make a zombie work. Whatever the case, all of this material would come together to a central point, which would be us here at Wolf Pyros Pictures.
We would be filming the main scenes with the main characters. What we would need from you, if you're willing to participate, is doing zombie close-ups, breakaway shots, far away distant shots, wide angles, anything that you can come up with that could be used to fill in the movie and make it full. So we could just we would take care of the main character close-ups, dialogue, all that. But you could do like all the zombies attacking the house, like that, and then we'd be filming the stuff that's inside the house with the main characters looking out the window, whereas you'd be filming what's out the window. Like, that sounds awesome. That's a really good idea, I think, and that would bring a whole community together, making a film virtually. And we were thinking, don't worry about what resolution, what camera it is. It's for fun anyway, and to get exposure. Whatever we get, we will use, and we'll try to edit it in a certain way where it's kind of seamless, as much as can be possibly done. But even if it isn't, don't worry about it. Just film it, and then we'll use it, and then put it together, and it'll work, and it'll be great, and it'll be fun, and then you can tell your friends that you worked on a movie together, and this full-length feature, here it is, and blah, blah, blah. Here's a DVD, hopefully. So yeah, let's try to form a film community virtually and all over the world, and try to make a movie together. Stop spreading ketchup all over the place.
I have to take a shower now.
And now go.
Are we recording now?
Yes, we're recording.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Director.
Yes. Just call me Mr. Fishband, the director. The director in a not mouse-colored cloak, but instead the green and red-colored jacket. Something filming complete.
Okay.
Turning off the camera now.
Hello, my name is Jason Day-Boisvert, and I am a director, an independent film director. And my producer, AJ Clausen here, just showed me the trailer. What? Yo. Just showed me the trailer to Lake Cop 2, Ripple Effect, and it totally sold me on it. I love it. It's over the top, cop, stuff, like Dirty Harry, but on a lake, basically. And, sorry, I have a bit of a cold right now. I'm recovering from a cold, but I can do a really good trailer voice, and I just want to read it for you. But I would really love to do the direct. Oh, I would love to direct this. Oh, this is brilliant. But anyways, from the people who brought you Lake Cop 1, Breakwater, comes an adventure so great it'll blow you out of the water. Set on the U.S. or Canada border, Lake Cop 2. It's whatever. It's about a radical environmentalist law enforcer who brings his absurd brand of vigilante justice on self-propelled water skis and steers up the water in the rural community of Rainy Lake. Who is this guy? Decrees the police commissioner. He's a cop on a lake, and he leaves a path of destruction in his wake. This summer, one man will enforce the lake law by breaking it. Prepare to get wet. Lake Cop 2, Ripple Effect. Coming to a theater near you. Check local listings for theaters and times. Rated R. Anyways, yes. That was bad, but still. Get back to us. I added you on Facebook. You, Mr. Brent Cooper. Me and AJ are moving to Vancouver in 2 weeks to establish our film company there. We are working on a movie right now, but it is on hold because we got to get there to film it too. So we could start planning to frickin' do this thing, man. Let's do this. I'd love to direct it.
Do it!
I love these kind of movies. I grew up with these kind of movies. I always wanted to do a buddy cop movie or whatever, with the mustache and everything. He's like over the top. I love it. Yes. So, my name is Jason My name is Jason Day-Boisvert, and I want to direct this movie, and AJ Clausen wants to produce it. Right, AJ?
Yo.
Here on Patchwork Film and Wolf Pyros Pictures, we're very humble. This is our second camera we ever started using professionally. It's a Nikon. What is it? A Nikon Coolpix L120. We have nicknamed it the Coolio camera because of Coolpix. The first camera we didn't have a name for, and I actually sold it. But the camera after that we bought was a Figgy camera. And it's just basically for video diaries. It shoots high def 16:9 resolution ratio, but it glitches when you're filming in high def, so I don't use it a lot. It actually, the sound will skip, not the picture, the sound. And then the camera that we're recording on right now is called the Gen Cam, named after Jen Saska from the Twisted Twins. So the next camera after that will be called the Sylvia camera. And so on and so forth. It goes like that. We just give our camera names because right away we know what camera we're talking about when we say, get the Gen Cam. Okay, we know the Gen Cam, so we get the Gen Cam. We get the Coolio Cam. Very silly. A little too silly. In fact, I'm putting a stop to it right now.
Because I need material for the documentary.
So, hi.
Rossum Kubler 2.
Yeah. Even though it's not technically 2, it's a remake of a short. We did a short. Oh, is this a vlog? Okay, I'll start over. Hello, welcome to the first production vlog of, what's it called? Gamer's Guide to Love?
Sunset. What?
The Gamer's Guide to Love. That's what we decided on?
Rosenkubler 2?
Rosenkubler 2, or just Rosenkubler. Needless to say, we haven't settled on a final name yet. But we did a short called Rosenkubler last year. And it's basically a test run for a full-length feature. So we're just going to be rewriting the script and going to shoot it for real this time. And that's about all there is to it at the moment. I'm the director, writer slash producer. This is my main producer slash writer as well.
Who? Where?
Turn the cat. No. Wait. Oh, there you go. That's the producer slash co-writer.
Where?
All right, there you go.
Still don't see him.
Oh, so that's what we're gonna do. We're the famous filmmakers of ghost footage and patchwork film, yet to be released film at this point. I got nothing else really. Cut.
Hello, welcome to the JD Show, Season 2, Episode 13. Today we're going to talk about Wreck-It Ralph, right?
Yes.
Sorry.
We'll do it live.
Yeah. So anyways, just a little recap. The JD Show has been not filmed since 2009, I think.
Ish.
Yeah, and I released a film cut of it, so it's a lot more watchable, and then didn't do anything with it. But yeah, I always wanted to continue doing more, so here we are. Here I am with, I'm Jason Day, or J Day, if you want to call me that, and this is
81 Rambler.
Yeah, and you've been on the J Show before.
In another form. Yes.
I'm still me, and yeah, welcome. So today we're going to talk about Wreck-It Ralph.
Alright, so we'll start with impressions.
Yeah, sure. First impressions, yeah.
Well, and how about, we'll start with you then. You're more of a typical movie audience type of person. You don't have any particular investment in the subject, which Wreck-It Ralph isn't. Mostly surrounding something which is the video game culture. So, just as a moviegoer, like, what did you think of it? Like, first about the concept, essentially.
Well, I used to be a heavy gamer, but now I'm just more of a film moviegoer, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, going in as just a movie fan and not a hardcore gamer like that, it was still really enjoyable to watch. And I thought the characters that were the main characters that were kind of made up for the movie, but they're there to represent existing characters. Like, Ralph would be the Donkey Kong kind of character, and what was the name?
Fix-It Felix?
Felix, yeah, Fix-It Felix. He would be the Mario character, right? But you don't have to know that when you're watching this movie. The first initial impression of the movie was, I liked it, because it was like, it did remind me of the nostalgia of the old arcade games, and the characters kind of like that, some of them do, and then some of them don't, and yeah, it was nicely animated and relatively good.
Yeah. Well then, going to this, like, I'm a video game history buff, as Jay would know, and like anyone who actually knows me personally, but I was very intrigued when I first heard about, like, making a video game, essentially something that's based around, like, the 80s, 90s, well, typically early 80s arcade culture, and when I first heard about this, I was had some trepidation about it, because, it is Disney, and they have done, like, great homages, like, granted, working with Pixar, with Toy Story, for, like, older toys, whatever, and something I'll be going back to repeatedly is Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is a very good homage to, well, not really homage, but very nice callback to, like, older animation. Mm-hmm. So, was this going to be, like, this generation's, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, essentially? And I think it very much pulled that off, and to much of my surprise, and not just for the fact that, it does call back to a lot of these games, but it doesn't rely on that entirely. It does have its own ideas and its own assets that it does use to tell a story and all these characters. And it's a much stronger movie for that, but we'll probably get into that in more detail later on.
Yeah, but now that you mention it, does bear some resemblance to Frame Roger Rabbit, where it had like a whole group of copyright infringements everywhere. Like you got Walt Disney and Warner Brothers mixed together, and this was like Sega and Nintendo and this and Atari all mixed together as well, with a central character based around it.
And they got like a lot of ones to represent that era. I mean, like, you know, a lot of people would kind of argue against like Mario and Bowser, but technically it did have an arcade release with versus Super Mario Brothers. Even Sonic and Eggman were in the movie, and like they've had a arcade game as well. I mean, if you want to split hairs about the difference between an arcade and a home console game, but but again, there's all these other callbacks that are really obscure. Like for instance, Root Beer Tapper, which some people I talked to didn't even know that was an actual arcade game.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Well, no, there's a lot of history about the fact it was initially called Tapper, but that was also tied to an actual beer license, and then when it came to the general public as an arcade game, it became Root Beer Tapper.
Oh, okay.
So it was a little bit curious for me at first when they kept on referring to it as Tapper. So.
Don't remember that.
Yeah. There's also like Frogger, and like there's all other ones like like Pac-Man's in there, and I think Dig Dug you can find there at one point. I think
there's so many.
Cubert, actually. That was
Cubert,
surprising.
yeah, that was one of the most enjoyable side characters. Yeah. All that. It's funny, it's hilarious. And they actually put the speech bubbles in with all the gibberish.
Yeah. They definitely got all the right notes with the characters that they represented, at least in terms of. But that's the initial impressions then.
Yeah. Okay. So next is the plot, eh? What do you think of the whole overall plot of the film?
Well, I've heard a lot of people complain about the whole thing that. So the title character is Wreck-It Ralph, obviously, and eventually, like the first 20 minutes, the whole big cameo drop, and then there's the setup, and it kind of not say meanders around a little bit, but then the movie hits its pace within the game known as Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
And a lot of people complained at that point because they would say like, this movie is no longer then about Ralph so much as it is about Von Schweetz, which was the little girl.
The glitch.
Yeah, the glitch. And it became a movie about her from that point on. But I don't really think that is actually really the case. Well, we'll talk about the character development later on, but in terms of the plot, I mean, I wouldn't say the movie didn't really necessarily ground to a halt, because at that point it's still more about like Ralph's development as becoming a hero, making all these difficult decisions that a real hero would have to put up with.
Well, I found that I don't know if this is a problem in the film itself, but people go in. I think anyway, people go in expecting the characters, Wreck-It Ralph and whatever, to go into a bunch of games, like a lot, and he just goes into 2 games,
pretty
maybe
much
3.
Yeah, if you want to count Pac-Man, essentially.
Yeah, Pac-Man. There's a meeting there. They have a meeting, which is kind of neat, and you get to see how from our point of view, if you're looking at the screen in any good form. But basically, they only go to this kind of Call of Duty futuristic Metroid, amalgamation of a game, and he meets the love interest there, and the backstory that's programmed into her is quite great. It's one of the best parts of the movie.
That becomes Felix's love interest. Yeah.
Oh, right, yes. But so then, anyways, Ralph then goes from that to what was it called again?
Sugar Rush.
Sugar Rush. It's like a Mario Kart inspiration, homage to.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. They just go to those 2 games, mainly. And of course, there's the Wreck-It Ralph game. Of course, it starts there.
And surprisingly, that game, the Fix Fields Jr. is the name of the arcade game.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, that doesn't really get a whole lot of, like, we'll say, screen time. The good 50% of the movie does take place in Sugar Rush.
Yeah, like a lot. Most of the movie takes place in the Mario Kart Sugar Rush game, and honestly, it made me want to play Mario Kart a lot, actually, because it was really well done. Like, it really brought back the feeling of the Mario Kart game. It's like, man, I want to go home and play Mario Kart.
Yeah. In terms of the effect of the plot, though, I mean,
sorry.
Yeah. But in terms of the plot, it doesn't really. I don't think it hurts it in any significant way, though, because if we have the characters can really go into each of these different roles with all its own cast and its own set of heroes, it really would bog the viewer down as like, oh well, now there's all these sets of characters and all these other rules in this world they have to now absorb, and then we're on to another one.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't help the plot if they kept going. It would be more of a video game, really. Like, not really a story.
And amongst the two worlds that they had created between Hero's Duty and Sugar Rush, I'm kind of glad they actually did go Sugar Rush, because it just would have been a very drab-looking movie.
Well, it is.
Duty.
It is quite fun, that Sugar Rush scenario. Like, they have donut cops, for example. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of good gags. Right?
Yeah, like it's
stereotypical as that may be, but
it makes you feel like you're rotting your teeth watching it. Like it's just all this candy everywhere, and characters are candy, and oh wow. And
but then
so I want that. I want to see a video game.
Yeah,
Sugar Rush.
Well, I don't doubt something is going to come to that pass eventually, but. In terms, like, getting back to the plot, though, I mean, so then the movie does stick with this one centric cast of characters, which it essentially focuses on. The main aspect of this game is that there's this whole large mass of racers for this one game, Sugar Rush, and 9 become playable every day. They rotate it. Well, in the real world, it's a sort of a random rotation. In the game world, after the game is shut off, shuts down for the night, they hold this little tournament to see which of the 9 racers are going to race in the tomorrow's roster.
Yeah, the game essentially plays itself.
So
yeah.
So that's when we bring in, Ron Schweitz, who is trying to get into the roster, but is continually blocked off by all these rules set by the Candy King, right? That's his name.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So then the story then becomes about Ralph, about helping her, Ralph helping her getting into a proper race roster, which the Candy King is all sorts of against, which we find out for various reasons later on.
Oh, just so you know, there might be a bit of spoilers.
Well, this movie had this. I think I want to kind of let this be a bit more of a movie analysis than anything else, really.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, please watch the movie first. You know. We'll put that in the thing. Yeah. Like it's a review, right? So
but that part is something that you're gonna have to be facing for like the bulk of the movie, because that becomes like the bulk of the plot essentially at that point.
And also, there's like a whole end of world kind of scenario where we're in this universe that they play in. If the arcade machine is unplugged, that their world is over. They have to escape, or else they're dead. Yeah, essentially.
This creates a very interesting theology behind the movie, which I think could be discussed at great length.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like it's the game gets unplugged. They travel through the power cords into the main hub. But I don't understand.
The power bar, essentially.
The power bar? Is that what it is?
That's all it was.
They go through so they go through the power cord and into the power bar, the main power provider of all these games, and they have to get out before the game gets shut off, if that ever happens. And that does happen to the Qbert character, and they're like basically homeless in the power plug bar.
Yeah, you see them in the beginning, and Ralph like stumbles upon them. They have this little homeless stand, like we'll start an FPS for food or something like that. Which I think again it creates a very interesting like theology, like it very much creates like, a world for all of these characters to
a world that we are unaware of. It's that very feeling when you're watching the movie. It's kind of neat. Yeah.
If we're going to continue discussing the plot, then now we are going to get into major spoiler territory,
which is completely fine.
Yeah. So then,
spoiler alert. You know this. Okay.
Yeah. So then the reason that you discover that King Candy does not want Von Schweitz to race in this game, whatever, is if she, and this will become a bit of a stick in my craw later on. His reasoning behind it is if Von Schweitz races and she is a glitched character, which is you can consider like not to say like the odd job of GoldenEye or something like that, or essentially a character who like really cheat and otherwise destroy the game. Yeah. And his reasoning is, if she races and players are not going to like her because she is glitched, either needs to be like an unfair character one way or the other, then at that point they are going to shut down the game. And the Candy King does say that because she is glitched, and this is one thing I have a bit issue, which I don't really think they really explain properly as to why this is with the world that they created. Because she is glitched, she would not be able to leave the game through the power bar as all the other characters do.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of, you don't have to know. That's just the way it is.
It is hurtful, but
she's bugged, so therefore she can't.
She is bugged, but it's trying to decipher exactly how this works. It's not like it within the universe that they make. It does create tension. I just really,
it's a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of something like if you kind of
Complication.
if you like to really examine like how things work in a movie in your head, like that might be a little bit of a sticking point, but it does pay off as a plot point later on.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then Ralph essentially turns heel on Von Schweetz, destroys her cart, and at that point he's making that first really big hero's decision. You know, he can't let Von Schweetz race because essentially it would amount to her death.
Yeah. And
short version.
And he's trying to tell her that, but she doesn't. She's just like a kid basically, and doesn't want. She just wants to race. That's all she wants.
Well,
but she's doing it for the greater good, and it's for her best. And
I mean, it doesn't. I'm not saying it's not going to break your heart when you see it.
no, it's a tearjerker. A little bit of tearjerker. I almost cried a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's again part of like Ralph's growth or whatever. Is like when he learns like being a hero is not just about getting a medal, which is why he went to hero's duty in the first place, was to get a medal, which he did by climbing a tower and fighting some bugs.
And that's another thing though. Like going back to it's sad. Almost it's a tearjerker a bit. I was not expecting a tearjerker from a game with Bowser and Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong's not in there, but like the main villain of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. It kind of does speak well for the movie in that Von Schweetz. Being perfectly honest, I really, particularly with how the trailers portrayed her, I really did not like her as a character. It seemed like that annoying little kid from The Gathering you just really don't want to, because she makes all these jokes and thinks she is so witty and just has that bit of a grate to her voice that just kind of drills right into your head. But at that point, you still feel terrible about what she's being put through, but what Ralph is being put through, because
you end up liking the character basically.
She does kind of grow on you a little bit.
Yeah, she does grow on you like a weed.
Like a weed. But
and then there's the whole spoiler alert. I shouldn't have to say this anymore, but the person that actually created the glitch itself was the Candy King.
Who, and I thought this was actually a rather neat idea.
They go into the code.
Yeah, well, he goes into the code.
They go into the code.
Hey, this is actually something else that kind of sticks in my craw too. Like this is very much a geek nitpick, but the code that he uses to get into the game world code essentially is the Konami code: up, down, down, left, right, B, A, B, A. Like any. I think something a bit more appropriate for that would have been like the Sonic 2 debug code, because that is about going into the code and messing around with it.
The Final Fantasy 7 debug room mode code, that would
something
be
like
excessive.
That too. But at that point, though, and this is where you would want to create the divide between a movie made for a geek and the movie made for the general audience. The general audience might know what the Konami code is.
It's a little bit for both, though. It's kind of nice to have a happy balance between the both.
Yeah. But I mean, if you were to toss surface to the obscure debug code, I mean, that would have been. Yeah. They half the audience wouldn't get that joke, but then some of us in the audience would be like, "Oh."
See, I didn't get it because I don't know that Konami code. And if I did, I don't remember it.
And this is why you're the movie angle of this review. But
when they're in the code, though, it kind of reminded me of Tron.
Yeah.
Tron Legacy a bit, or am I thinking of something else?
It was an interesting way to essentially display code for the game, like how it all ties in together. It's kind of like very.
Each character would have like a code, a bar.
A box, essentially.
A box with their name on it.
And instantly, if you want to get into really deep programming level, that would be known as object coding, which does actually exist, even if it is a very simplified way of putting it.
Of course.
Well,
yes.
But I'm kind of geeking off.
But anyways, the basic plot is what we just talked about. Wreck-It Ralph wants to get a medal, goes into other games to get it, and he's sick of being the villain, wants to be the hero. And he finds a character, falls in love with, like a daughter or father relationship with this kid that's a bug. They solve the problem, kill the villain. It's a very formulaic plot that we've seen a million times over, but we just haven't seen it in this kind of film before, which is kind of nice. It's like Avatar. It's a plot script formula that's been done time and time again with a new, fresh coat of paint. That's what made Avatar good, right? Well, some would argue, of course.
Well, I don't know if I'd really make that comparison.
But it is. The plot point, it's a very stereotypical script formula, and it's been done a million times over. But in this film, since it's done with video game characters and in a new form we haven't seen before, it actually works really well with this film. And honestly, for a film like this, you don't want to go overly complicated anyway. So it works. It's perfect for this film, I think.
Okay. So I think we can segue into characters at this point then.
Segue into characters. Characters!
Right.
Coming up next. I guess we have to go to commercial break. So, well, we'll be right back at JD Show here. Do the theme music.
What? No,
Theme music.
there is none.
Do the theme music.
There is no theme music.
Da 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 da. Oh, hello.
Was it necessary for you to do that for the last 15 minutes?
Yeah, I couldn't stop. You know what Star Wars is like. It just affects me. It gets in there.
If we're going to go into copyright material, I'll choose the next one.
Okay, fine, whatever.
So now we're going to talk about the characters of the movie.
Yes, the characters, as I like to say.
So we'll talk about Ralph first, at least. So
Ralph.
the whole crux of the movie is Ralph, and his struggle with his own identity as a villain. I mean, the movie starts out with him in this villain anonymous group, and he kind of struggling with the idea that he wants to be the good guy. This is the short version. It's essentially his he's not happy with his place in life. His entire job is about wrecking a building, which is fun, but then is being thrown off a building into a pile of mud, which is not so fun, and not getting like the recognition and love of everyone else in that world.
That, and he's basically homeless. What they do is they repair the building after the game's over, and they throw the bricks into this giant pile, and he made a home out of the bricks. He lays in the bricks. It's so sad. It's like, this character, man, he needs to feel love, he needs to be desired.
I mean, and it does kind of apply to like a very human need to feel wanted. But
yeah.
When it comes around to the 30th,
I felt sorry for him.
Yeah. When it comes around to the 30th anniversary of this game, there's this big party that's being held by, say the NPCs or the townies of Nicetown, I think it's called in the movie. And essentially being held in celebration of 30 years in service, along with Felix being invited, and Ralph is sadly left out of the celebration.
And if it wasn't for Ralph, there would be no game. So I felt for the guy, man. I felt for him.
And you kind of have to wonder, these villagers hold him in such contempt, but here's I think the pathos that they should be going through is the fact that they have no meaning for existence without Ralph.
Yeah.
They have to suffer at his hand, otherwise their existence has no meaning.
There's no game without the villain.
And that sort of becomes an underlying subplot that while Ralph is gallivanting, trying to get a medal in hero's duty, and then trying to help Vanellope, in the meantime, the arcade operator Litwack, he comes in and is like, well, players start trying to play the game, but Ralph isn't there.
Yep.
And so they determine that this game must be defunct, so we're going to leave this game as it is, and if nothing improves like tomorrow, because that's how all good arcade maintenance is done, it's just leaving it and see if the problem fixes itself.
Well, I thought they put like a out of order
they did.
paper right on the screen,
and
they could see that too. They could see outside the screen.
And then the game is going to get shut off if they don't, if Ralph doesn't get back. Essentially, yeah. So if Ralph doesn't get back, then the game is shut down, and then they become, the next Cubert sitting in Game Central Station.
Yeah, and they'd be homeless as living in the power bar.
So then,
so that sounds very silly.
So then Ralph's first inclination is whenever he goes to the bar and he hears about this, first we'll talk about the main conflict is that, he goes to the party and it doesn't go very well. Felix doesn't do a whole lot to help Ralph's case, and the villagers simply say, you're not a hero, but, Felix gets all the medals because he's a hero, but, if you get a hero, then we'll let you live in the penthouse.
Yeah.
So that's what becomes Ralph's goal, so then the next morning he then goes around to all these other games to try to earn a medal for Soul Inc.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, which doesn't go particularly well either.
No, but all those characters that are in that game hate Ralph. Like, he's a plague. Mm-hmm. It's like they wreck their house every day, I guess. I understand, but that's their existence, man.
Yeah. And so, and Ralph just sort of turns this whole, wanting to be accepted into, it sort of objectifies it in just a medal.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what he treats the idea of being a hero is.
Yeah. Leaves the game, goes up to get a medal. Mm-hmm. Comes back to get a penthouse. He wants recognition, damn it. Anyways, what else is there?
Yeah,
Felix?
Well, let's talk about Ralph's development a bit more, though.
Oh, you want to talk about more about Ralph?
Well, we're talking about the characters now.
Characters?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yeah.
Ralph?
So then when we talked about, how when he has to make that difficult decision with Vanellope about, destroying her car to essentially save her life.
Yeah.
As, that's when he starts learning, what really being a hero is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually he doesn't even care about the medal, and he just wants to save Penelope and whoever he can, really.
Yeah. So I mean, So like the entire message of the movie seems to be, accept who you are, which I think is, I don't know if that's really a message that's kind of lost. I mean, it is kind of there. I mean, it's more about. It kind of felt a bit more about everyone else accepting who he was.
Don't be selfish is another one.
Well, yeah.
I think I'll try to save others, and he learned. It's a life experience kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a video game.
Yeah. Unlike Felix, then I guess now we can talk about him. Yeah.
Well, Felix was more along the lines of spoiled, rotten brat. He's always been the hero. He's always got the recognition for saving the day.
Well, I think it was very much that he was like very used to his role of being the hero.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the ironic thing is, by the end, like Ralph was like, I'm not going to say that Ralph was a hero right from the get-go, but he kind of went the hard road about being a hero. Felix, he's not really a hero. He's just playing the role that he's given, and everyone loves him for it.
Yeah.
To the point that when it does come to the party at the beginning of the movie. And Ralph is like, I just kind of want some recognition. And Felix is like,
what are you doing here?
He's not like trying to shove him out the door like the other villagers are, but he doesn't seem
to though.
Well, he doesn't really wrap his head around the concept.
Well, no, he's not mad at him.
No.
The villagers get really mad at him. They're just get out.
But Felix is kind of oblivious to the idea. Essentially.
He's just like, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. It's the way that things are. Kind of thing.
And that's kind of why I don't want to say I didn't really like the character, but. It's he's not a very likable person because he is very innocent.
Yeah. Eventually, though, he does learn as well. He goes through a life learning lesson as well and falls in love.
Yeah. But mostly at the to Sergeant Callahan or whatever her name was, or the sergeant.
Yeah. I don't remember her name.
Essentially, it's like his very innocent, like 50s charm, as I'll say.
Yeah.
that's very much where he's pulled from, like 50s, 60s, like the very stereotypical hero, like very prompt and like very treating ladies with the utmost of respect, the way that he talks.
Open the door for her. Yeah.
It's like the idea that she can't take care of herself, that she's going to need a man to take care of him. Very antiquated mindset that he's kind of stuck with ever since his creation in the 80s.
Yeah, which makes sense, I guess, that way.
Yeah, he's very much like a Mickey Mouse character, and that I guess, again, that kind of mentality does tie back to his whole development or lack thereof.
Rescuing the princess, Mario rescuing the princess, kind of programmed into him a bit there in the character.
And that's exactly what it is. He's very much just living the role that he's given, and it's not a bad role per se.
No, I actually didn't like the character much because I thought he was arrogant and all that stuff at the beginning. Eventually, I did grow to like him as well.
Yeah. So I guess I shouldn't say he's not likable, but you can kind of see where he just doesn't have a whole lot of sense to him.
Or you could say he is likable, but it's not right away.
Yeah,
I actually did like him.
Yeah. I can't say he's a bad guy.
No, he's not.
No, he's not a bad guy. No. He's just oblivious.
And then he realizes he was oblivious. Yeah.
Right. So then we already talked at length, I guess, about Penelope, about how we felt about the character and such. I mean, and even her own desires about like just wanting to race. I mean, no, that's
she just wants to be part of.
Yeah.
She just wants to belong and wants to have friends. She's like the loner. She doesn't want to be.
Yeah, and like you think like the villagers from the Wreck-It Ralph or from Fix It Felix are monstrous. What about those kids?
Oh yeah.
and Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope at least like the King Candy or Candy King, whatever. He like has some sense of trying to be professional and like proper about what he's doing. But these kids, they're monsters.
Rats, yeah, complete pests, like those stereotypical bully girls that they kind of care about their hair and the Heathers. You remember the Heathers? The movie Heathers?
Don't think that.
Basically, the Heathers. Yeah. Look it up. It's a horrible movie, but you'll know what I mean when you see it.
But you still kind of feel bad about Penelope. I mean, you could say that a lot of her abrasion just comes from what she's had to put up with, like for the last
being a glitch, and and eventually, of course, she grows to learn how to use the glitches to her advantage and stuff.
Which is again going to be my bit of a craw at the end of the movie, but we'll talk about that later. So I guess not a whole lot much else to say about her. I mean, it is mostly Ralph gaining development. I mean, she is kind of like integral to the plot. I mean,
Totally, yeah.
Okay. So that, not a whole lot to say about the Sergeant then either as a character. I mean, again, she's kind of like a plot device more than anything else.
Yeah, she's the love interest for Felix, which was unexpected, honestly. I didn't really call that. But at some point, they started giving hints when he was trying to, win her over affectionately. And she was like, piss off! Yeah, I shouldn't say that. But
Well, yeah.
essentially, it's like, what?
She did lead to my favorite line in the entire movie, which was, she was programmed with the most tragic backstory ever.
That was the best part, yeah.
That was easily my favorite line. But
Yeah. It was like the worst wedding you can possibly imagine. Like, it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Just watch that. Oh, you've watched it, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah. Then I guess the only other person left to talk about this movie that actually has some sort of poignance is King Candy.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
The stereotypical villain.
Yeah, well, I mean, he starts out as like the very affable, like very Mad Hatter-esque.
Oh yeah, like change places, almost like that. Very, very out there and in charge. Yeah.
And then you find out what his true identity was, which was and this is something that really confused me at first, was at the beginning of the movie, and whenever Ralph was talking about, I don't want to be the villain anymore, he wants to change his role. And in the villain meeting, we have M. Bison. And this is why it confused me. It's like, oh, you're not going turbo, are you?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, what do these guys have against hyper fighting? Wasn't that bad of a game, was it?
I was thinking of those third-party Super Nintendo controllers with the turbo button that constantly hits A.
Yeah. So then it turns out, in the backstory, which was kind of strange in that essentially they made Road Blasters, that's what it was. They turned that into a sort of sacrificial lamb for the story, wherein Turbo was very jealous of a new arcade game, which was Road Blasters, that came in and was stealing all of his attention. And so his actions invariably led to both of those games being shut down.
Yeah, because he would go into the games and infect the games.
Yeah, and that's why repeatedly they'll keep on saying, like, oh, Ralph's gone turbo, like, oh, he's gone turbo, and like that seems to be like the very...
Yeah, and at the same time, you kind of forget about that whole plot at some point, and then...
It becomes a bit of a turn of phrase, they talk about how it happened, but...
Then you kind of forget about it, and then...
Yeah, it just
then
seems
then it comes back, and then you realize, spoilers, King Candy is Turbo. Mm-hmm. And he caused the glitch, he affected the coding of Penelope.
Yeah.
And made her bugged. And Penelope is actually supposed to be one of the main characters in the game. And Felix, I think it's Felix, or Ralph, he looks outside of in his game, he can see outside the screen like we can see in it. They see out. He sees the Sugar Rush game out in the real world and sees Penelope right on the side. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, the way that King Candy phrases it is not so much that she is created as a glitch and really should not exist.
Yeah, like something that the bug testers just left in the game that didn't work. It's just in the code.
Incomplete in development.
Yeah, exactly. Unfinished.
And then he asks you to go, why is she on the marquee then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's that plot point. Mm-hmm.
So
it's all Turbo's fault. Stupid controllers.
Yeah. So
well, that's it about characters. Any of the characters we missed?
I'm pretty sure there was something else I was going to discuss, but now it's completely left my memory. So.
Well, anyways, we'll have to go to a commercial break, and for the J-Day show here, so...
You realize you are cleaning that up.
Yeah. Anyways.
Right, so, overall impressions. So, yeah.
Welcome back to the J-Day show. Overall impressions of the movie.
Yeah. So then, I guess we'll talk about some of the stuff that we didn't have the opportunity to fit in before. So, I kept on talking about the thing that kind of stuck in my craw before, So, getting back to the explanation about King Candy of why he didn't want Penelope to race is, the explanation was, she would then race, she'd be a glitch, she'd be hated by the players, they would say the machine is broken, so they would shut off the machine, and she would not be able to leave. Now, because she's a glitch, she would not be able to go into the power bar and leave. Because
so she dies.
Yes. So, this is what kind of a little confused me. So I'll let slide the whole thing that she can't leave because she's a glitch, which becomes a plot point whenever they try to escape this game that's being destroyed by other means.
Yeah.
So then, here's the thing. At the end of the movie, she accepts her role as a glitch. Like, everything gets fixed. She becomes like an official racer again. Everyone recognizes her as like a princess, of all things.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, she's a princess.
So she's a princess. But
Main character, all right.
Yeah, but then she returns to her glitch form, as it were.
Well, yeah.
And so she uses that as a point of her character in the game as the players play, so she becomes the very thing that King Candy was warning about. And like it gets resolved in that, you know, the players love her being in the game because she is glitching all the time.
The king would say, well, they're going to shut down the game because there's a bug in it.
But then we're kind of rounding about to the whole thing that King Candy was like technically trying to avoid in the first place.
And it ended up backfiring. Well, not backfiring, but it ended up being one of the most selling points of the game, where the people that would play it loved that character.
So then she's kind of throwing caution into the wind and saying, you know, this is very much what he was trying to prevent. Like, even though I don't want to say he was wrong about it. He had other reasons why he didn't want Penelope to race.
Yeah.
But this kind of struck me as odd that, you know, she's doing going against the very thing she was worried about, and you realize it was a very real danger.
It's 50-50, man. People might hate it and not play the game, which is very
and
true.
Then she still couldn't leave the game because she remains a glitch, and that's kind of what kind of bugged me about the whole resolution of the movie. It's not like, you know, I don't want to say there wasn't a lesson learned. I mean, it was. I guess it does tie into the whole thing, accept who you are. Mm-hmm. But this is kind of like going to an apocalyptic kind of sense.
I guess, yeah. It's
I don't know.
She's still bugged. Why is she still bugged? Didn't they go in and fix the coding?
That would be something else too. Actually, I don't know how she would have undone that.
I don't know. They did go and fix the coding, right?
Yes. Well,
so why is she still bugged? You tell us, because we don't know.
Maybe I could have missed something. Apparently, I missed that in root beer, like in the root beer Tapper thing. I kept on thinking like they were referring to the original alcoholic version of Tapper, but now apparently some dialogue in there said, "Oh, that only serves root beer." So there could be something I could have missed too. But
that bar, okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember what you were talking about. It's like. Oh, the bar, yeah. That's another game I guess we add to the list they go into, is Bar Tap.
Yeah.
Unless we did. I don't remember.
But yeah, that was kind of my only real sticking point. In terms of like an overall movie, overall story, I mean, it's I very much enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, like, I don't know why some people complain about the idea that, you know, we have this full, we'll say first 10 minutes of the movie that they talk about all of these, you know, they have all these cameos and like, oh, well, there's M. Bison and like there's a Kano lookalike. There's, you know,
the ghost and Pac-Man.
The Pac-Man ghost and like all these characters like kind of inundated.
The zombie! That's like one of my favorite cameos.
Well, and kind of an homage to the House of the Dead zombies. I'm thinking it probably is it. He changed some of its looks, but that's what, because they had the hatchets, right?
Yeah, I know, but it's so hilarious. It's like, it's beautiful. I love the way he did that.
But then some people would say, like, you know, you didn't really talk about the cameo, like, you didn't have really major cameos in the last, you know, 140 minutes of the movie.
No, it's mainly in all in Sugar Rush.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Basically, yeah. The rest of the movie takes place in Sugar Rush and the Power Bar.
Yeah. But they don't use like inundate the viewer with cameos. And I think the movie is much better for it. That it very much relies on its own characters.
Exactly. They don't rely on the cameos to sell.
Yeah.
They rely on.
Yeah. Man, they brought in
the
Hubert.
story.
Yeah, they brought in Hubert as like an expository character.
He was a plot point character. Yeah. He actually helped.
Yeah. And then they brought in like Road Blasters, and otherwise it pretty much stuck to its own. So it very much had the ability to stand on its own. I'm very glad that they kind of did that.
Yeah, it was a really good film. I want to see it again. Mm-hmm. So yeah, totally, I'd totally buy that. So overall impression?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, check it out.
5 stars out of 10? 10 stars. Out of 10 stars. What do you think? Or how about we do the thumbs up thing or thumbs down?
We'll decide a numerical scale later on if we do some of these.
Thumbs up.
I'd go watch it again.
Alright. Well, thanks for watching the JD Show, the brand new episode of the new JD Show, even though it's not called that. But, yeah, tune in next time when we talk about something else. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about next.
I don't know. Actually, one last thing I want to add on to the tail end of this review is if you kind of like the idea of like all these video game characters and dealing with their roles and such, I would look up a webcomic called Kid Rad. That's KID RADD. Just Google that. You'll probably find like some sort of it has a very strange kind of display method for webcomics. So you might have to find a version that's compatible with your browser, but I'll very strongly recommend it. Essentially, it's a very similar type of story where you have a video game character who essentially pulled out of his game and is trying to adjust to his life outside of it and finding his place in the world. A whole bunch of other things happen on top of that, develop his character, but at the same time.
All right.
I'll very much recommend checking it out, though.
Nice plug.
All right.
All right. Well, tune in next time. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
See ya.
You're still cleaning that up.
Hello, welcome to Movie Review Extreme. Extra. It's so lame. So, sorry, it's
Sponsored by
water.
It's good for you.
It's good for me, and it's good for you.
Water sponsor. Yeah.
There we go. We got a minute. Let's go. All right. For today, we're reviewing Pacific Rim, or Pacific Rim, Specific Rim Job. That's what I like to call it. The movie, yes, the movie by a famous director, Del Toro. Guillermo del Toro.
G. Del Toro.
G. Del Toro.
G. Dog Del Toro. Toro del Toro.
Del Toro. Yes, the movie was good. Your thoughts?
Avatar.
Avatar. Taco.
Taco Del Toro.
Okay, no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, the movie was awesome.
Yep.
Giant robots, actually not technically robots, they're giant mecha suits. Think about it.
Yeah, they're technically power suits.
Yeah, they're vehicles.
Because they have
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's, we're nitpicking. But that's actually, I think the director even said that in the movie somewhere.
Giant robots would indicate that they're
Yeah.
completely mechanical.
Yeah,
with no
geek talk would be giant mech suits. Fighting monsters. Giant monsters. Kaiju. Yes,
Kaiju.
which means monsters.
in Japan.
Yes. Yes. And the odd thing is, I kind of looked into it a bit. Every monster that they designed, they also kept in mind that it could be a suit. A man could fit in there to play it. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool. And Del Toro was also mentioning that it was not Evangelion that inspired him to do this film. It went back before that, his love for Godzilla and stuff like that.
Yeah, monster movies.
Kaiju movies in general.
Yeah. So yes, the movie was awesome. Really interesting, anime-ish kind of characters. I don't want to say that, but the characters, like especially the scientists, they kind of.
It was anime come to life, live
Yeah.
action anime.
I was seeing things in that movie that I've always wanted to see in movies, and I never did. It was a really good movie. So yeah, anything else? We're running out of time here.
Hot Japanese chick.
That has that.
Tech nerd.
Yeah, cities. I think at least three cities completely demolished.
Yeah.
And it's very international. It's not America saves the day, and apparently there's no military talk. It's actually more of an old, sailors talk. Like they got.
Yar.
Yeah, no, not literally like that. No.
Yar. Power suit. Yar.
We're an independent pirate crew. No, not like that. But yeah, and that's about it. It's really good. Really good. No, yeah, it's international, and most of it's in Hong Kong. I think. Remember? I have to watch it again. I can't remember.
Well, Alaska.
Hawaii. Okay, no, sorry. So Simpsons in my brain. Can't
I
stop.
believe part of it was in Alaska because they were building the coastal wall, and they were in Alaska and they got attacked.
Phew. Is that
And
that
then-
Alaska or is that Hong Kong?
Hong Kong, I believe Hong Kong was attacked. The third attack was in Hong Kong.
Well, that's irrelevant anyway at this point. We gotta watch it again. We only watched it once, so it's really good. Watch it now.
Yeah, totally.
Pacific Rim by director Del Toro.
4.5 stars.
4.5 stars out of 5. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Catch you next time.
So, after much coercion.
Hello, welcome to Movie Review Extreme.
Coercion. Extreme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Cut that out, Jay.
This is the cough episode.
I can't drink.
Brought to you by water.
This is some cheap generic brand Coke, but that's okay.
Oh my gosh.
What were you saying?
Okay, yes. After much coercion, I'm going to be introduced to the world of Pokemon.
Pokemon. It's actually
Pokemon.
Yes, Pocket
Monsters.
Monsters. So it's not man.
I know I say Pokemon.
It's not that.
It's a man who pokes.
Making yourself, look like an idiot.
Well, that's because I'm trying to look like an idiot.
Well, you're on the right show.
I'm on the stupid show. For York.
Yes.
So I have agreed to watch the first episode of 795.
95 so far. But I think that list is out of date. It's actually after you're a little past it.
Okay, 800 plus Pokemon episodes.
I think.
And movies. And video games.
Yeah, there's like 60
There's
movies.
no way I could ever catch up. It's just not
I'll
possible.
try.
However, that being said,
Yes.
when you started to explain to me what it was about, and you mentioned that there were no animals in the world,
As far as I can tell.
yeah, and we started talking about the Pokéindex,
The Pokedex.
Pokédex, it left me with a lot of questions, which are apparently a lot of which are answered in the first episode, which we're going to try and get.
Sort of, kind of. Actually, now that I watched it again, it didn't really much answer in the first episode. Yes.
So my big question is, if there's no animals in the world of Pokemon, per se, then what do they eat? Are they all vegetarians? Just, stuff that...
Well, I think it might be the fact that there is.
They don't.
They just don't show it. There has to be, right?
It's kind of like TV shows and movies where you assume they go to the bathroom.
Exactly. And Star Wars, before episode 1, I thought, did they ever eat?
Really?
Because episode 1 had the
But
only
they were
supper scene
drinking
in
blue
it.
milk in episode 4.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Maybe I'm thinking of Star Trek. No, there's lots of eating in there. No, it's bathrooms. Yeah, bathroom breaks. I used to think that as a kid. Did they ever take a shit?
Well, there's on the Enterprise, the door behind the turbo disc is the head.
Anyway, it's enough about potty talk.
Nerd.
Nerd.
No.
Yes. So Pokemon, not Star Wars. Pokemon. Yes. Well, basically, episode 1 starts out with Ash Ketchum is all obsessed about becoming a Pokemon master in his night before.
Ketchum. His last name's Ketchum.
Ash Ketchum. Yeah.
He will catch them or not.
Yes,
Ketchum.
C. Yes, yes, that's his name. And and in the world of Pokemon, at 10 years old, you can start You could start your journey to go on to your being a Pokemon master. So at 10, that's what you start doing. That you in
Did
this
they get
world.
paid?
Eh?
Did it get paid?
I don't know, but
There used to be a lot of stadiums.
see, there's a lot of in the game. If you base it off the game, it's you get money from other Pokemon trainers when you win.
Oh.
And then that's how it works. But in the anime,
So it's like poker, but different.
I don't think they even talk about it in the anime. Mind you, I haven't watched all 800 episodes, but
You think I know more about this, having owned or participated in or volunteered for game stores, comic book stores, internet cafes?
yeah, you think you would, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't. I've always avoided it.
But
I sold the cards, I sold the games, I sold everything, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I need to know more about it too. Well, because I've been playing the game since Blue, so to this day even. So I skipped Black and White though. So anyways, he goes to sleep, dreams about Pokemon. His mother's all sad but excited at the same time to let him go on his first Pokemon journey. Become a Pokemon master. And
His mom's a...
his mother is funny actually. It's like don't forget.
See, I'm sensing some Anakin crossover here.
No.
She has to let him go to follow his destiny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Except except sillier, then that happens and he's late. He sleeps in and ends up missing out on the initiation event where you pick your first Pokemon from Professor Oak. And the leftover, Gary, his rival, which I named Fag in my blue version. So, just try it, man. Play the game and call your rival Fag. Sorry. Politically correct out window.
People waiting for you in the Pokemon after.
Hey, whatever. I have nothing problem against that. But back in the '90s, man, woo, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Gary, he's like all, like, fuck you, Ash, I'm gonna kick your ass, and the Pokemon, and be a Pokemon master way before you. I even got up my first Pokemon before you. You're sleeping in and all that shit. All that crap happens.
But
he
they
gets a
don't
Pikachu.
swear, I take it.
No, they don't swear. They should.
So he gets
It
a
would be a much
Pikachu.
better show if they swore.
And these are species, right? These are not
Yes,
just...
they're species.
So Pikachu is a type of...
Yes,
Pokemon.
Pikachu is a leftover. You're supposed to pick either
So he's a runt of the
fire
litter?
type, a grass type, or a water type. But Pikachu is a leftover one, and Pikachu has attitude problems and electrocutes anything that touches him at this point.
Okay, so he's the loser runt of the bunch.
Kinda.
Kind of.
He's like
Pika loves
special.
him.
Like, like I hate everybody. That's what Pikachu starts off like. He'll electrocute anybody for anything. Don't touch him. He doesn't like being in Pokeballs, and he'll kill anybody that moves. But there's no killing a Pokemon.
Okay, so he's an electric shark, but
Yes.
he's yellow, small,
Yes,
and
he's attitude.
sort of like a feminist.
And throughout the show, like I said, politically correctness out the window. But anyways, that happens, and what else happens at this point? Okay, so then he goes off to be a Pokemon master. They all say their goodbyes, and Pikachu electrifies the whole audience of like 20 people because they said that Pokemon looks weird or something to that effect. I can't remember what. Pika! Yeah, so like that, and electrocutes his mother and everything. Don't forget to change your underwear every day. Yes, Mom. Like that's yeah. Anyways.
Okay.
So he goes off into a journey, tries to catch Pidgeotto, learns how the whole catching of a Pokemon works by trial and error. You should know by now because I think he would have researched it and everything, but he didn't know. So tried to catch Pidgey, and then the evolution above Pidgeotto, I can't remember what it's called, whatever it is, Pidgeotto 2. It's not called that, but they attack him, and because they have an attitude problem as well, and they get really annoyed and get jealous of Pokemon that are owned by a trainer. They get jealous. So they attack him, and there's a then
So it's like high school.
yeah. So he starts because he's throwing rocks at them, and pisses them off, and then there's a whole murder of them that attacking him now. So yeah, and
A whole murder.
yeah, a whole murder, a whole flock,
A murder of crows.
a gaggle, a swarm. Yes.
Okay.
So they're all attacking Ash, and Pikachu is up in the tree watching, and then they attack him because they get jealous of trained Pokemon. I don't know why they do. This particular Pokemon. So they attack him as well, and then he gets like severely damaged because a whole murder of Pidgeotto 2s, I can't remember what they're called, attack him. And they're running for their lives, and then a thunderstorm hits and all that stuff.
Pidgeottos are pigeon.
Pidgeottos are basically the first easiest Pokemon you can catch in the game, so therefore
Are they
an enemy
like
as well.
pigeons?
Yes. It's like a Pidgeotto.
Okay.
And then there's 3 evolutions, and the second one I can't remember the name of it, but it's
Now
like
the-
bigger.
Have to. Do they discuss the evolution thing? Because
Not in episode 1.
not in episode 1. Okay, so there's no evolution
Yeah.
stone
No.
mentioned.
No.
Okay.
And
I remember some-
throughout the show, they never evolve Pikachu because he's the mascot. They didn't plan it like that, but he's the mascot for the whole anime, the whole Pokemon franchise. He's the mascot now, so they would never evolve him. But you do see Raichus, which is the second evolution form.
Okay.
And then later on in later games, there was a pre-evolution called Pichu, but that's not introduced yet.
Okay.
So there's 3 evolution forms, but they started with Pikachu. Pikachu's the middle, but that wasn't originally like that. I know there's a lot to get into, years and years and years of development of evolving these Pokemon and all that. But basically, that's basically the gist of episode 1. He's on his. So I'm sorry. They introduced Misty, the Femme Lolita, the fan service character.
She's the one that keeps showing up in cosplays.
Yes, and she's a fan favorite, and so he steals her bike, and she tells him about the Pokemon Center, or hospital, she says, and he's like, what, there's a Pokemon hospital, where is it? That way, okay, take your bike, bye! And she goes, hey, I'll get back to you whenever I can, bye! And then he runs off, and the thunderstorm hits, and the murder of Pidgeotto 2s are after him again, and then they're attacking him on the bike, and they're like that, and then Pikachu electrifies them all. He's like one last ounce of energy, and it's like, oh, there's a partnership going on here. They're kind of hinting at. So he electrifies the whole murder of Pidgeotto 2s, and then they're off to the Pokemon Center to heal up, and that's where it ends. To be continued, and every episode to this day says to be continued. Well, that's about it. That's about the gist of episode 1.
Sorry to
So
talk so
is the-
fast, but I'm not
Is the murder trying to murder them, or murder trying to hurt them?
Oh, hurt them? I don't think there is such a thing as murder in a Pokemon one. There probably is. Oh, did they introduce... They did not introduce my favorite characters are Jesse and James. I don't think they introduced in episode 1 yet. They're in episode 2. Yes.
So we got Ketchum, and
Ash
Jesse
Ketchum.
James,
Ash Ketchum.
and
Gary.
Misty.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jesse and James. And Nurse Joy. And every Pokemon Center in the Kanto region, as far as I know,
Kanto
is
is
all Nurse Joys. They're like clones.
Oh.
And Police Officer Jenny. Yeah. Seriously,
Officer
they're all
Jenny.
called Nurse Joy. They all look exactly the same, and they're fucking in every Pokemon Center there is. And there's a main police officer called Police Officer Jenny, and she's a clone, and she's in every city. And they're all called Police Officer Jenny, and they're all called Nurse Joy. That's about the gist of Pokemon episode 1. That's a little history lesson right there. And we're going to have to wrap it up soon. Any last thoughts so far?
I don't know what to think.
You got to watch it now.
I gotta watch it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. See you next time. If we have assuming we have an audience, we have a little bit of one. Just give us some suggestions in the comments below of what we should talk about next. Okay. Thanks. Bye. This is Jay and Al, and forgot to introduce ourselves, but
Well, they should know us by now.
yes.
Pika, watch it
Pikachu,
over.
choo, Pika, pa, Pika, 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 Pika.
Now we really are sponsored by water.
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 All right, so welcome to Movie Review Extreme. We're going to be talking about our fears, or
Yeah, I would call them fears.
well,
I
not
would
really,
say they're more edgy worries.
of the new RoboCop remake.
Yeah, there's not much out there, so there's only what we've been able to go on that's been released by OCP.
I have hope. Is it OCP still?
Yeah, their
Okay.
marketing ploy campaign thing.
Oh yeah, they're viral.
Viral
ads and
ads,
shit.
yeah. Which was interesting because first thing that I noticed is not necessarily. It's not even actually about RoboCop. It's more about the unspoken hero of the series, which is Ed 209. Ed 209 looks way better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he looks
Wait,
really good.
I said that wrong. He looks different,
But
and
the
it's
same.
just as cool. But he's not an urban pacifist droid anymore. He's no. They
You know
show
more
him
about
taking
him
on
than
a tank.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
not-
yes. So basically, he
Yeah.
is a tank,
He's a walking tank.
a walking tank.
You know.
But
and-
he looks like it looks similar to what Ed 209 is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I worry a little bit about that. But it's actually about RoboCop. There's still been no definitive answers as to the little things that we all love. Like when you watch the original RoboCop series, his gun comes out of his leg.
Yeah, we don't even know that. We know he has the gun. And
Yeah.
It looks pretty much the same,
Yeah.
as far as I know. They're not really marketing it much. They have a viral ad campaign out, but they're not. And it's probably a good thing. They're not spending as much as they did on marketing, like they did for. Pacific Rim spent $100 million on marketing. So did the Lone Ranger, $175 million, I think it was.
Well, it's a good thing that they didn't spend too much on marketing because they were aiming for August 19th, and as we all know, that's when Elysium is coming out. Elysium.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Pronounce.
I'm looking forward to Elysium.
Elysium.
Elysium. I'm looking forward to that one actually.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, we're gonna slip from RoboCop into Elysium.
Well, RoboCop. He looks
Okay.
like a robotic Batman, but I think it could work. I'm not too worried about the color of him. Basically, that's the only difference.
They showed little tidbits, like they constantly had to polish his helmet. No puns intended. But it was
I see
the
this
top
bike.
of his mirror helmet, and that's something that worries me in film in general. Is when there's a shiny surface that's not dull, it's actually mirrored.
Yeah,
Like
you see the camera.
you have to be so careful. Star Wars, you saw that all the time. Stormtroopers walk by, shiny reflection in their eyes.
Lord of the Rings.
And
When the
Frozen.
ring drops on the floor in Bag-End, you see the camera reflected in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It took me like a million times to watch it to notice that, mind you.
Yeah. But it's inevitable.
Yeah.
I mean, even when we were shooting, there was a couple of scenes in ghost footage. We had to be careful of reflections, and
Yeah, it's perfect film.
Yeah.
Well, in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, they digitally removed the camera reflection of the C-3PO.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Now when they shoot green screen and there's a reflective surface like that, it reflects green, they have to digitally remove the green. Yeah.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't hate CG. It's just when somebody overuses it, or it's like, hey, let's spend an extra $1 million on digital gophers.
Yeah, well, see, the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, since we're going off topic, I love those movies, but yes, there is too much CG. Unnecessary. But, anyway, back to RoboCop.
Some movies need a lot of
CG.
CG. Sharknado. And its sequel, Sharknado 2.
Isn't it Sharknado?
Thank you, Anthony Ferretti.
Isn't it NATO? Isn't it Sharknado?
Sharknado.
You said a NATO.
Sharknado.
What's Sharknado?
Sharknado.
Isn't it supposed to be like a tornado?
It's tornado. NATO.
Yeah, so you're saying
Sharknado.
Sharknado?
Sharknado?
Yeah, Sharknado. It's Sharknado.
Sharknado 2 coming to the theater at you.
Wasn't the Sharknado supposed to go to theaters now?
No, I didn't hear that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think, what's the director's name again? Anthony?
Ferretti.
Anthony Ferretti posted on Facebook that I think he did, but it's going to theaters.
Yeah. Well, they
select.
aired it, and then within a week they wanted to air it with tweets because everybody tweeted it. And it's got
really?
Yeah. Here we've gone from RoboCop to Sharknado.
Yeah.
There's swimsuit wear that has shark bite patterns.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I totally love that.
Yeah. But that Sharknado is a good example of what you could do with low budget films and make money.
Yeah, totally.
You don't have to spend. Oh, see, I think what they're doing. I have theories, and I've heard theories that the reason why Hollywood is making like big, major budget movies all of a sudden is because DVD sales have gone down a lot. They can't rely on that anymore. They don't have that income anymore.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make more money in the theaters. But they gotta write good movies.
Yeah, and they gotta stop blaming pirates. I mean, there wouldn't be a piracy problem. There's several issues in that, but there really wouldn't be this oversaturated. Oh, you're a pirate. You're a bad person, and you're taking money away from it. No, that's not the case. I don't know why people keep saying that. I really don't. It's personally, I would far sooner download a movie. If it's good enough for me to go to the theater and spend money on it, I would do it that way.
I'm one of the people. I know you don't buy them, but I buy DVDs still.
Yeah.
I will be buying Blu-ray whenever I ever upgrade to Blu-ray. But
yeah.
I personally love to have a physical copy. I can't stand it.
And it's always a good idea to have a backup in case it's stolen.
Yeah, and I actually download movies that I have DVDs of too, sometimes, so I can watch them in the computer.
Like you lost how much? Over 100 DVDs?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
During the Vancouver fiasco.
Well, that wasn't the Vancouver fiasco. That was the.
Try to get rid of shit before we move Vancouver fiasco.
No, that was a bunch of F-tards doing their thing.
No, I didn't. No, whatever. Anyways,
we don't want to talk about them. Haters gonna hate. So to speak.
Yeah.
Back to RoboCop.
Oh yeah, right. Off topic, cop.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the fifth actor to be playing.
The fifth?
The fifth.
Okay, there's the movie, the first two films, the third movie, then there's the TV show. Oh yeah, you're right. I never counted before.
Yeah, that irritates me. I mean, RoboCop started to go in a bizarre kind of direction after the second one.
Oh, the third movie sucked.
That could have been cleaned up so much better.
It was PG-13.
Yeah. And then the TV series was not even PG-13.
The second movie is my favorite.
It was kidified.
I didn't even watch it because it's so far from what I like about RoboCop.
Yeah.
So I think
there's certain things about RoboCop that are RoboCop. You can't get rid of them. I mean, you gotta have.
They're alive. You're coming with me.
Yeah, good line to have. Awesome line.
I hope they say that.
The oscillation of his voice. Like every time he takes his helmet off, it's not oscillating.
Okay, well, there's one thing I don't know. I don't know a lot about this remake because I actually haven't seen a lot about it. But is it rated R?
I hope so. Because if it isn't, there's going to be a lot of flavor missing.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be rated. I hope it's rated R, but I doubt it. Because they're going the way Hollywood is now, they need to make more money.
No, I'm even more worried.
Yeah, I got
It's
yeah.
just RoboCop, and you know, it's really a Frank Miller kind of flavored thing. You know, it's just that's what the third one didn't have. It didn't have that.
It didn't have. It didn't have taste.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Like the first one was classic. I mean, they're also pegging this one as a classic. Like I can't remember what the director was talking to the girl who played Rocket's sister.
Huh?
Amber.
Rocket sister.
Amber. I can't remember her name. She was in Sucker Punch.
Mm.
The one who survived got on the bus. And got to ask yourself.
The blonde.
Yeah, the blonde with the sword.
Yeah, the blonde. We got. Let's go.
Yeah, she was. She's in it. She's Murphy's wife.
Okay.
And she herself was saying that it's a classic. Yeah. Director was saying it will be a classic. It's not going to be a good film. It's going to be a classic film. That's what they said.
What does that even mean? That's big. What do you mean?
Well,
It's going to
you've
be
got good films. You've got awesome films and
You got
awesome
films that are last forever.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're saying it's above good. It's
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
and I can sort of see it because
The Hobbit trilogy is classic. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is classic. Star Wars, and so on and so forth. Well, yeah, whatever. Anyways, well, that's enough talk about RoboCop and various other things we talked about.
Yeah. Welcome back to RoboCop.
Catch you next time. We're gonna drink more water and sit on the couch and talk about movies.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'll buy that for $1.
Sponsored by water.
Okay, so welcome to Movie Review Extreme, where we just watched. What's it called again?
Milo, Bad Milo.
Bad Milo.
It's called Bad Milo, but when you start watching it, it says Milo, which is not to be confused with the other Milo movie.
So,
Nondescript water.
yeah, I know. You have to have the whatever. So, we just literally finished watching it. It's your second run.
Yeah, I watched it twice. I watched it last night. Took 230 screenshots. I always do that. I take screenshots of movies. It's just cool because
I do that sometimes too.
I like analyzing like Milo. It's a Muppet puppet, trumpet, poppet.
Oh yeah, all practical effects. I think there's some digital blood effects at one point, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, as touch up, not as a. The rest was all floor effects. But yeah, they did a really good job. I'm still convinced they got that idea from that Japanese little brown fuzzy thing. I'm pretty. It looks to me it looks the same. It's just
reminds me of Minecraft.
really.
Yeah, like the creepers from Minecraft. It's like a.
It's like a brown creeper.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, yeah. That movie, my word, I've never. I don't know if I like it.
You
I
haven't
like
seen
it.
Teeth yet.
What?
You haven't seen Teeth yet. With the vagina.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to, yeah,
Yeah.
for this review show.
Yeah.
But like the movie, it was so funny, but it's
Big seal eyes going flip, 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 flip. It's awesome.
well, I don't want to do it. You want to give the basic rundown of the movie?
The guy has really high stress in his life, and it manifests inside of him. The stress and the anger and all that stuff manifests itself into this. What is he? A foot, maybe?
Yeah,
12 to 18-inch tall.
Gremlin-ish kind of thing.
Yeah, with big seal eyes and sharp rows of teeth. It's got like 3 rows of teeth, and it attacks the source of his stress. So if
Brutally.
Brutally. He hates his boss, so he'll kill his boss, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's the gist of the movie, and he's learning to control his.
Milo. He named it Milo.
My name Milo.
And it has like it comes out of his comes out of his ass.
Yes.
You know.
And there are some cultures that believe that demons do come out of your ass.
So basically, I guess this movie is playing on that, and we actually kind of show you the explanation of how it comes in and out. It shifts in there, like, you know,
Yeah,
it could fit down a tube like that,
Yeah.
and they just demonstrate that it goes down a pipe at one point.
And it goes through the housing.
Yeah, the pipe.
The housing pipe into the sex dungeon.
Yeah, there's a sex dungeon. His mom's sex dungeon.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. My mother wouldn't like it, that's for sure. Nor my dad, of course.
But your parents are nothing like Duncan's parents. Duncan's the main character in the movie.
Great. Great acting. Sorry, I was young. Great acting in there.
Awesome script.
Yeah, it was filmed well, lit well, everything was fine. It's a good movie. Well done. But it's so weird, and you're laughing at parts that
should offend you.
Should offend you, yeah. But it's just so funny sometimes. So there's some of the expressions. What was the guy that that therapist guy? Like, you know, when he says, "Should I don't know what he asked him. But it's like, really? Should I bond with it?" Yeah, baby. It's just weird. Oh yeah, like the acting is over the top. I think pretty much for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it over the top because I'm pretty sure that if you had something crawl out of your ass, you'd be like,
it doesn't make it over the top.
The good old days.
Yeah, just like high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody was crawling out of each other's asses. What school did you go to?
Yeah, I don't know, the movie, yeah. As you can see, I'm kind of speechless about it.
The whole movie is a metaphor, which they kind of explain at the end about how you're supposed to have love and compassion for your fellow person, kind of thing.
Yeah, and don't let yourself worry about
seemingly little things.
Yeah, just don't live life stressed out.
Patrick Warburton, who played the Tick, is in there.
Yeah.
Who plays the boss of the company.
The live action Tick,
yeah.
not the cartoon Tick. Yeah. It's kind of an Office Space thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit of inspiration from Office Space in some scenes in the office. And there's a bit of inspiration from The Shining, the axe scene.
Oh yeah.
I've noticed them mimicking some of the shots, and he's axing through a door, and the guy, you could tell they watched The Shining, and they're like, hey, we're doing a Shining bit. Yeah. So there's a bit of that in there. So there's little homages in there.
You can tell it's going to be one of those classics that people are going to talk about, and definitely worth a watch. I'd say 4.5.
4.5 stars out of 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5 stars. Yeah, I'd give it about. I'd give it 4.
There's a lot of shit in the film, literal shit. So don't be offended by that because that's kind of what makes the movie.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Well, catch you next time.